This is a video about the importance of a mock test. Guys, it can help you pass your test, potentially first time, if you have one or more mock tests. I absolutely 100% give out mock tests. I just believe in them hugely. You do have to have a little bit of a thick skin, yeah? Now, over the years, because I've been a driving instructor for so long, right? I've been a driving instructor for 21 years. Now, when I used to do mock tests, when I worked with BSM, right at the very beginning, we used to have another instructor that we met in a side road, and we'd actually give the student to that other instructor. They'd go and do the mock test and come back. It was all very serious. Now, I'm saying seriousness is good, but over the years, my personal and professional opinion is the first mock test is an absolute disaster. I mean, it's just a disaster. You want to be getting that out of the way. Now, I don't recommend that you should be doing a mock test really close to your test anyway. That's too late. That's too late. You need to be doing a mock test when you're like 75% ready, because you and your instructor need to know what's left. Guys, you need to have a communication with your driving instructor. You must communicate with your driving instructor. Use your voice. Tell them what you need to practice on. Your driving instructor, if they're decent, has got like 45 students, yeah? I make shed loads of notes. I've got a memory like a sieve, right? It just, what's your name? Where do you live? Who the hell are you, right? I'm joking. I love my students. They're amazing, but I do forget like where they are. So I've got my iPad in the car before the lesson. They get in, they do their cockpit drill. I look at their lessons, yeah? And I check it all. And I'm like, okay, we're doing this. You're good at this. Well done for that, blah, blah, blah. Looks like we need to practice some of that, blah, 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 right? But I need the student to turn around to me and go, Roz, I'm really hating hill starts right now and I really need to go and sort them. Or I don't understand how the lanes work and blah, blah, but, right? So it's important that you chat, but the purpose of the mock test is not only for you, but it's also for your driving instructor. Because if your driving instructor has missed something like, oh, okay, this student doesn't check their mirrors very well, turning left, kind of missed that, right? Then you have both got something to work with for the rest of your lessons up until your test, okay? It's really important, okay? The first test is always a disaster. To be honest with you, I don't potentially care about the first mock test very much. I do care about the second mock test. The second mock test is more important to me. The first one is a bit like the first pancake in a frying pan. It's going to be crap. Yeah, don't worry about it. The likelihood of your first mock test being good, if you're doing it at the right time, is quite low, right? It's quite low. If you passed your mock test, you probably should have gone to test like before. The mock test really is to try and kind of like work together and get you set, you know, brilliance here. Okay, so I always say to my students, look guys, I've had 21 years of experience. When I took this like crazy serious, right at the first mock test, when I took it really seriously, I used to have people crying at the end of their mock test. People would go to pieces. They would feel like devastation. So whenever I give the first mock test, I always go, look guys, this just, don't worry about it. It's me. It's me. I mean, come on. I mean, when we have a laugh, like we learn very, very good stuff. I nearly swore then. We learn really, really well together, but we have a laugh, right? And it's me. I don't care about your mistakes. I'm going to keep us safe, but I'm going to be forgetting about it. Like my students come into the car and they're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry about last week when we like literally nearly died. And I'm like, did we? How? What happened? Sounds really interesting. Honestly, I've just totally forgotten. I'm nearly dying all the time. It's fine. Yeah, don't worry about it. So when we do this first mock test, I do stress to my students, please don't worry about it. Let's just see what happens. We kind of need to do this first pancake and just throw it away, right? And then when we've got that done, yeah, we're going to have some information about what's happened. We're also going to know how you act under pressure. We're also going to know how you act with nerves. You're also going to know how you act with me or your instructor not talking to you, and it's weird. The amount of times that we start a mock test and I'm like, okay, I am now a big, hairy, scary driving examiner. When you're ready, drive on, right? And then most of the time, about 5 to 10 minutes later, my student goes, Roz, you're being really weird. And I'm like, I know, I'm trying to be a really big, hairy, scary examiner here. Shut up, get on with it, right? It happens every time. But I've tried to soften this because it just, the first one, okay, like I say, I'm more interested in the second one. We get the first one out of the way, we've got some information, and then we go in with the second one. So I say to my students, try and get, well, using the word try is, I always say try and get 3 or less serious faults on your first mock test. And then the second one, let's see whether we can, go for it. All right. So the first mock test is not important. Yeah, if you're doing it at the right time with your instructor, if you're doing it at like 75% ready, right, go in there and just get it out of the way. You do not want the first time that you're under exam conditions to be with the examiner, because it's really weird. You must have that experience with somebody who is safe, who's helping you, who loves you, who cares about you. Yeah, your family member, your driving instructor, somebody who's there to help you. You do not want to be under those test conditions with the examiner for the first time when he's got his high-vis jacket on and he's checked the number plate and he's checked the thing and he's being all serious and you're like marking all of the things that you do wrong. You just want to be like, yeah, okay, I've felt this before. I've been in the car with no talking before. I know what this energy feels like. I know what this is like not to have any chatting. I know what it's like to go into my own head when I've done something a little bit wrong, but I need to just delete that from my mind now and get on with the next thing. It's really important, guys. It's really important. I strongly suggest that you do mock tests, or that you're in periods when you're good enough, that you do decide to have periods of silence, just periods of silence at the right time with your accompanying driver at the right time. So you know what, if you're with an accompanying driver with no driving dual controls, I would say that you probably need to be a little bit more ready for your exam, a little bit more independent before you do a mock test actually, for safety reasons. But if you're with a driving instructor, in my professional opinion, after 21 years, you should be doing it like where there's still work, where you've still got time to work. Don't do it on the lesson before your test. I mean, what? Really? What happens if you get 4 serious faults on your mock test? You haven't got any lessons left, right? And like I say, the first mock test is always a disaster. Anyway, it's a disaster. Yeah. Like some people don't even get through their mock test. They just don't even get through it. We do like 20 minutes and we've got about 17 serious. No, that's a bit too much. We've got maybe 7 serious faults, and I'll be like, we better stop there. Actually, do you know what? I'm overreacting. If my student gets to around about 4 or 5 serious faults, I will stop the mock test and I'll be like, do you know what? I reckon we should stop there. I reckon we should do a driving lesson. Because just a few things, but it doesn't really matter about it because the pancake's gone, right? And then they can be like, okay. Sometimes I do a mini mock and it's a disaster, and then I pull the car up and go, right, this is what's happened on this mock test. Yeah, how did you feel about that? How was it for you? And they're like, oh man, that was really scary and blah blah blah. And I'm like, let's do another mock test right now, and always it's better. Always, right? It's because right, okay, I got this. I kind of know what's about to happen. Guys, do a mock test. If your instructor is so unbelievably busy, because we are all so goddamn busy, right? We could work 24/7. It's ridiculous, right? So help your driving instructor, yeah? If you haven't had a mock test yet, just go, at some point, is there any chance that we could have a mock test? I'd kind of like to see where I am, communicate with that person like they're, just your mate. It's important. It's really important. It's your test. You need to be ready and you need to see how you're going to act under pressure. All right. So I strongly recommend mock tests, and I think that you should Get them done about 75% through your training. All right. So I hope that helps, and good luck with your driving.